said don't leave America and go to the Philippines. They were wrong. I left 7 months ago, and I don't plan on ever going back.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be talking about why Americans are moving to Asia in record numbers. More and more Americans are leaving in the US behind and starting over in Asia, and the reasons are clear. Countries like Thailand, Vietnam, South Korea, Japan, and the Philippines are attracting expats with a lower cost of living, a rich culture, and better working-life balance. For digital nomads, Asia offers fast internet, thrilling cities, and affordable lifestyle. Many say they feel safer, less stressed, and more welcome abroad than back home. Rising healthcare and housing costs in the US are pushing people to look for real alternatives. They also punish people too, with big prices for sure. In Asia, quality healthcare is often a fraction of the cost without the bureaucracy. Some move for career opportunities, others for peace, but the trend is growing fast. Even young Americans are choosing to build their future overseas instead of fighting a broken system at home. It's not just a move, it's a lifestyle shift. Asia is becoming the new dream destination for those chasing freedom, simplicity, and something better. So let's dive into the video.
I'm raising my kids in China and not America for many reasons, but today I'm just going to tell you 5. I'm going to tell you some Chinese culture related to these reasons and also some aha moments that I've had living here. I'm Beers in China. I've been living in China for 6 years. I have 2 mixed kids and my husband is Chinese, so I'm not your regular expat here. Let's talk about it all. My first point is about family culture. America focuses on the individual and China focuses more on the group. Growing up in America, I used to think that isolation was empowering and I didn't need others to thrive. And it's not just me who feels that way. It's definitely our society as a whole. Look at how people have gravitated from the big cities to suburbs. We live very private lives and our sense of community is just gone. Some may say that we're doing fine, but I beg to differ. Look at America's drug problem. Look at how many homeless people there are. Look at school shootings. It's crazy that that's even a thing. And there is definitely a common denominator here, and it's mental health. Mental health suffers because of how isolated we have become. In China, it's a totally different story. Sometimes up to 4 generations can live together, supporting each other, talking, interacting, playing games, dancing, and more. People feel seen, supported, and loved. China doesn't face a lot of the big problems that we do in America. Okay, a big part is definitely government intervention, but an even bigger part is going to be the sense of family and community. And take, for example, the elderly. As you age, it is so important to stay around people. In America, the elderly are sent to old folks' home and usually just left there. No one goes to visit them. But in China, people stay with their families, they live with them, and also they have places where they gather, where they dance, where they talk, where they play games. As you age, it's so important to stay young mentally, and doing these kinds of things definitely helps that. Raising my kids in China will show them that, yes, they are important as an individual, but in a group, we bring strength to one another. Let me give you an example of just how important family is to Chinese people. Every single holiday, you cannot book tickets. Why? Because everybody goes home to see their families. In America, this is not the case. Maybe people will get together on Christmas, but every holiday is not happening. And next, religion. I've wanted to talk about this for a really long time because I'm from the south of the United States, which means religion is a super big deal. Since I was young, I have had religion pushed down my throat. I was told that if I don't follow the Bible, I'm a bad person, I'm a sinner, and I'm going to hell. When you're young and being told things like this, I think it's really, really dangerous because you feel peer pressure to believe something that you maybe would not have believed in if you didn't have these people telling you things like this. And also, it can delay you in finding yourself on your own journey in life. In China, if you want to be religious, you can be. There are churches, there are temples, and also there are mosques, like this one here, the Chimen Mosque. People are good people here, but they don't need religion to do so. Religion is not a very big thing. This means that in China, my kids won't have religion pushed down their throats. They can decide who they want to be and not be influenced and thus confused. I will support my kids in whatever they want to be, whatever they want to believe. I feel like it's very important that they get the choice. Now let's move on to the cute stuff. This is something that many people do not know about Chinese people, and it's called 人情, which literally means human feelings or kindness. There's a saying in Chinese, if you give a person a drop of water, they will give you a bubbling spring back. To simplify this, it just means that if somebody gives you something, you should reciprocate that and give them something. I found out about 人情 from working at tons of Chinese companies. I'm a gift giver. I love to do it. So I would give my Chinese friends gifts, and then they would give me gifts and more gifts and more gifts. I was drowning in gifts. Now, I'm not living here because I want my kids to get more gifts. It's because I think that this act is rooted in empathy and kindness, and these are huge morals that I want my kids to have. For me personally, I feel like these exchanges have led to lifelong bonds. In America, these exchanges do happen, but I feel like they're more for short-term bonds and also business. So if you're in China and somebody gives you a gift, make sure to give them a bubbling spring back. What do you guys think about 人情? And my next point, China's attitude towards having kids is way better. After you give birth in America, you're lucky to have a few weeks off. You go back to work when you're still healing, still wounded, still in tons of pain, and give your literal just born baby to someone who's not their mama. In China, let me tell you all of the benefits that I got while I was working for a Chinese company. So while I was pregnant, every month I got paid time off to go to doctor's checks. When I got really big and pregnant, like towards the end of it, I got 2 paid days a month because the doctors wanted to see me more often. Okay, when I had the baby, I got 5 months off, all paid. And when I went back to work, I got off work an hour earlier because I had to go breastfeed my child, and also I was given time to pump at work. And in addition to my vacation days, I was given 5 paid days off just for family purposes. I feel so lucky and blessed to have had that time with my baby boy, and I know that if I want to have kids in the future in China, I will be very, very supported. And my last point is about healthcare. In China, I don't have healthcare right now, but even for a basic check, I'm only going to pay about $15 and I can book it on that same day. In America, the costs are going to be crazy, even with insurance. And also, you're going to have to wait such a long time to even be able to see a doctor. Also, if you get blood work done, you can get the results within a few hours. I recently just got blood work done. I got my results in about an hour, and it was sent directly to my phone. I even got a push saying like, hey, they're ready, you can check them now. In America, even with insurance, things are so expensive. Some people avoid medical care altogether because they don't want to go into debt. I've heard the argument that if healthcare became public in the States, the quality of service and care would go way down. But I've been living in China for 6 years and I've been going to the public hospitals. Yes, there are a lot of people, but that same day that I get sick, I get to go see a doctor, my problems get solved, and I know that the people that I'm seeing have a lot of expertise. They see a lot of people. I know that I can't show up and show them something they haven't already seen. I can rest easy knowing that if my kids get sick, they can see a doctor immediately and it won't break the bank. And that's all for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. And also, I hope you liked the view today. It is summertime in Beijing, which means it's Thai roller. I am literally melting. It's like 102 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Oh my goodness, after this, I'm going to go inside and get something cold to drink. And also, I wanted to tell you guys, the last video, a bunch of you congratulated me on being pregnant. That footage was actually from a year ago, and I was pregnant with my daughter, Aaliyah, but I do want to be transparent with you guys. I did get pregnant again with my 3rd child, but I had a miscarriage, and that's why I disappeared for about a week. I just needed some time to myself and to cope with everything, but I'm back, and I'm so thankful for my health and for my 2 kids, and I'm gonna keep on keeping on. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate all you guys so much. I will definitely make a short video in the future about my experience here in China because miscarriages are just a taboo subject and I don't want them to be. I think we should normalize it. And I don't know if you guys realize, but I just hit 50,000 on YouTube, which is insane. I appreciate all of you so much. And I'm also about to hit 100,000 on Xiaohongshu, which is insane to me. Thank you so much. I couldn't be where I am without you guys. Your support means everything to me. And if you're new here and you want to support this channel, please hit the subscribe button because it helps us keep doing what we're doing. And we have some really amazing and exciting content coming for you very soon. We have some travel plans. We can't wait to share it with you guys. All right, guys, until next time, B-Rose out.
I'm an American who's been living in China for 15 years, and this is why I chose to move to Southwest China. About 3 years ago, most of my work transitioned to online. My sister was already living in Lijiang, and my husband is from Lhasa, which is about an hour-and-a-half plane ride away, so I thought it's a great location to be based at. Lijiang is full of beautiful nature and vibrant culture, a melting pot of many ethnic minorities like Naxi, Yi, Pumi, Lisu, and even Tibetan. Some people say Lijiang has become too commercial and lost its charm, but from what I've seen, that's just not true. Take this hidden gem, Yuhu Village. The architecture is all built with stone, with traditional Naxi courtyards, tea houses, and cozy home-style restaurants all around. This restaurant served a cold fern salad with a vinegar base. The fern was picked this morning from the mountain right behind the restaurant. After lunch, I found a cute cafe. I love the design with these flowers, and the view, really unbeatable. Follow me for more everyday life from Southwest China.
Ciao, boys, sang Vietnam. I left America 4 months ago and came here to Vietnam to find freedom. We know this. Why do I stay? Let's talk about it. First of all, I'm standing on one of the reasons right now. This is My Khe Beach, that Sun Trial Mountain behind me. The sun comes up in the morning. It's glorious. I do lives at 6 p.m. East right over there on that beach. It's absolutely glorious. Look around. Looks like Miami, don't it? Lauderdale. It's beautiful. It's where I grew up as a boy, and I love it. Nice and warm in the summertime. It don't get cold in the winter. I'm not scraping any ice here. I'm not shoveling snow like I did up north. Y'all up north right now, you know what I'm talking about. It's safe here. They do not have guns. They are not allowed in this country. Even the police do not have guns. True. They don't have mass theft in the stores. People have respect for their neighbors. Women walk alone at night with children in the streets and are unmolested and safe. And I love it. There's a peace and a harmony here. They have a respect for their neighbors. It used to be that way in the 70s when I was a boy, but things done changed. The biggest reason I'm here is the Vietnamese people. They have loved me, they have welcomed me, they have treated me like family here, and that's why I am so attached to this place. That's why y'all hear me preaching on it all day, every day. And I want to say a special thanks out there and tell you, all the haters who posted in that big post and said, don't come back, don't worry, I'm not coming back. I'm going to stay right here and rough it, y'all. Please be rest assured, I'm not coming back. If y'all want to see more real life in Vietnam, follow along. Peace and love to everybody.
Keep telling you guys, man, China is way better than the United States, man. Way better, way cleaner. If you're in the United States, you better think about moving to China right now, because like I said, the East is rising and the West is falling. Check this out. Come on, let me show you. Let me show you how the East is rising. They got bamboo scaffolding. You telling me that the East isn't rising? You telling me that the West is not falling? The West is definitely falling.
Wednesday, June 4th, and in 58 days, I am moving to Thailand. Let's talk about it. I think right now for me at this point, there are 3 main reasons why I'm moving. The first is, like many of us, I'm actually genuinely scared about the direction that this country is going, and I don't really want to be here if some crazy shit goes down. And a lot of people say, oh, well, is Asia any better? You know, is Thailand gonna be? And let me tell you something. If I publicly talk poorly about their king, I will be thrown in jail. Is it a bit oppressive? Yes. Is it clear and concise? Also yes. But let's say, for example, here in America, land of the free, home of the brave, home of free speech, right? I go to a pro-Palestine rally, and then I leave the country and I come back. I could potentially be questioned in my own country where I am a citizen upon entering for fear of terrorist activity. Just because I went to a Palestine rally and I became on somebody's radar. Now, in a country that is land of the free, home of the brave, does that seem very clear and concise to you? That seems very, I actually don't know what the rules are. I don't know who's playing by what rules, and I don't know if I'm actually safe here anymore based on my belief system. And that's just one reason. Second reason, probably one of the biggest, let's be honest, is I want to explore the world. I think I'm going to use my 5-year digital nomad visa to use Thailand as a home base. If I want to ever be there or in a place for a longer period of time, I'll just stay there because I already can. But upon arrival, I'm going to be there for like 2 weeks. Then I'm going to go to one of the side islands in Thailand. Then I'm going to go to Vietnam. Then I'm going to go to Bali to get my tattoo touched up. Ben Rock Studios, this one's for you because if you're watching, like, I love you guys. Then I'm going to go to Cambodia, the Philippines, everywhere else. I'm going to go to Japan to see the Bad Bunny concert when he comes in, I think, March. freedom of travel. And then the third reason, which is hugely important, I think is the reason a lot of people might consider a move to Asia, is I financially cannot stay here anymore. I'm currently in a position where after bills, debt payments, what it takes to live and be entertained in New York City, like if I want to get a sweet treat sometimes, I can put into my savings about $2,000 per month. If I move out there, I did the calculations, I can put in my savings, purely savings, $8,000 a month. Just to give you a visual of what that actually means in terms of like real life scenarios, I could save $100,000 next year, like in one full year of having moved. And if I stay here, it'll take me 4 years to save up that $100,000. So you mean to tell me I could become a millionaire in 10 years? Okay, and that's if my income doesn't change at all. That's not considering, what if I become TikTok famous? Or if I stay here, it'll take me 42 years to become a millionaire. I genuinely can't imagine a world where I would want to come back here, but if I do, at least I won't be flat fucking broke. Right now, what it feels like is all of my debts and all of the things that I have to pay just to live are just feeding each other, and I don't have a lot of room for like an enriched life. But thanks for the check-in, and I'm curious, have you ever considered moving, and if so, where would you want to go and why? All right,
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, and I'm gonna be very transparent. So I've been traveling back and forth from China to America since 2019. And when I post these videos about China, you know what I'm saying, I'll go off of my experience for the last 5 years, because, you know, going to China for 7-8 months and then coming back to America for 4 or 5 months, then going back to China for another 8 months. Every time I was doing this, things would change. Like, for example, I'll go to China, come back to America feel like it got worse. Then I'll go back to China and I feel like China got even better within a short period of time. Honestly speaking, y'all, I'm not trying to leave America because I can't afford it, because I can do whatever I want here. If I really want to live here and buy a house, buy a car, I can do all that. I bought a Mercedes cash, sold it within 2 years. Bought another car, sold it, went back to China. My credit score is decent. So I have every right to live here if I really want to. But me being able to experience a whole nother lifestyle in China, it just made me feel like all this stuff here isn't really worth it to me. I guess I fell in love with the fact how I'm able to save way more money being in China. Because if you know, the game is income versus expenses. If your expenses is higher than your income, you're never going to save money. And this is why a vast majority of people can't save money in America, because they have too much expenses. They have cars, food. Like, bro, you have to live your life. Nobody's not finna save every single dollar here. So I go to Asia, I barely have any expenses. All my expenses is in America. Like, when I'm in China, I don't have to really pay for much. You know, so I'm in China, I'm paying rent in China, but I'm also paying rent back in America too, because I didn't get rid of my apartment here. So I'm like, even though I'm in China, I still have way more expenses in America and I'm not even there. What's the point? So like I said, you got to win the game of income versus expenses. If your income is higher than your expenses, you always going to be able to save. You're going to have money.
Thank you for your likes, guys, and let's continue watching the videos. I do
well as a sub-series called Pressing On, where I press on nails while also telling you all how I pressed on through various obstacles that I have faced in life. Let's throw it back to 2017. I was 23 years old and I ended up working at Walt Disney World in their college program, and that was so fun. The Disney college program, I hope that it's still going these days, because that was really such a fun time. I'm a Disney girl, by the way. All my Disney fans, stand up. My partner at the time, we were in a long distance relationship, and he actually came to Disney and proposed to me. And at that time I was like, oh my goodness, I'm really living in a Disney fairy tale. The relationship ended up not working. We ended up not going through with the wedding, and I was completely devastated because I was like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do with my life. I thought I had my life all figured out, and I really was lost for a minute. I was so sad, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, my life is over. What am I going to do next? Because I had planned my life to be around that relationship. This is also the moment in my story where I realized that I had two paths to take. I realized that I had option A, which was to sit in my car and cry and to really just be reckless with my life and just say, oh, woe is me because this happened. You know, I'm not gonna ever like find love again. I'm not going to, you know, reach the goals that I've had for myself, blah, blah, blah. Or the other option was that I would take the time to be patient with myself and heal through the hurt that I was experiencing at that time. And guys, I am so grateful that I chose the second option, because through the second option, I said, you know what, Shaquela, you're a little bit lost right now, babes, but that's okay. We're going to figure out what do you do when you're wanting to get to know someone? You take them on a date, you ask them questions. And so I started taking myself out on dates. I started asking myself questions like, what is our new favorite color? Like, do we still like blue or do we like a different color? You know, just really, and this was not a weird thing. I wasn't sitting in a restaurant just like talking to myself, but more so just enjoying my own company. Like, I feel like sometimes we always wait until someone else can take us out to do things before we experience things, and we can actually enjoy things by ourselves, right? So I found a new church. I got plugged into a new church out there, and I started going on Groupon. Groupon was my best friend, and I was just really finding different activities. Studio Movie Grill was my jam. I think Groupon had like for $5 you could go and see a movie, and I just was obsessed with that because I was like, I actually enjoy my own company. Like, I actually enjoy being by myself. This is peaceful. You don't have to worry about, you know, asking anyone what do they want to eat, where do they want to go. Like, you could just do whatever. So I fell in love with myself all over again, and I decided to give myself another chance. And so Disney ended up reaching out to me for an opportunity to work in Shanghai, China with their English program. And I was like, China? Now, hold on. So I had to go and do some research on Google about what in the world, what was Shanghai, China, because I was familiar with China, but I didn't know the specific cities. And when I saw pictures of Shanghai, guys, I was mind blown. Like, have y'all seen the downtown Bund area in Shanghai? If you haven't, go to my page. I post pictures of me there all the time because it is absolutely beautiful. Shanghai is one of the most magical cities in the world. And when I saw that they had an opportunity for me to go there, I said, you know what? I don't have any kids. I'm single. Like, I could really do whatever I want. This is that time. I'm 23. Like, I can do whatever I want to do. And so I took up that opportunity with Disney to move to Shanghai, China. So many of you have asked me questions about how can you move to China. I will say this. So for my experience initially moving here, it was smooth because Disney handled every step. They booked our flights. They booked our hotel for once we arrived. They helped us get our SIM cards. They helped us find apartments. They even gave us a subscription to Rosetta Stone because, y'all, a lot of you also asked, how did you know Mandarin before you came? Girl, I didn't. The only thing I knew how to say was ni hao. That was it. And so I was a little nervous about that because how am I going to move to another country and I can't even speak the language. So, but I would say Shanghai is that city where, you know, they have everything in English and in Chinese. So it's perfect for someone who can't speak the language. But I will say, if you're gonna live here for a while, it is good to like pick up something. Thank God for Google Translate. I didn't tell my family that I was moving. Let's go back to the story. I didn't tell my family that I was moving until a month before my departure date. And I kept it a secret, not because I wanted to just hide things from my family, but because I didn't want to be influenced by their opinion, right? And I feel like that's so important because sometimes in life we have to do things for us. Once you decide in your heart and in your mind what you want to do it. Like, sometimes other people can project their fears on you, and my family isn't like that. They're actually pretty supportive, but I just wanted it to be a surprise and I just wanted to keep it a secret. So I ended up telling them a month before, and my heart was racing when I told my mom. But my mom ended up, and I love my mom so much. She was so supportive. She was like, Quay, like, you have always followed God. I trust that you know what's best for you. I trust that, you know, that this is what's next for you in life. And so I had a goodbye party and my mom packed me all my favorite snacks. That's one thing too. Make sure you bring your favorite snacks because some of those may not be here. I think Shanghai has grown now in that way where we have more international stores where you can get things like Cinnamon Toast Crunch and other things from back home. But I ended up moving here with the Disney company, being a part of their English program. And when I got here, my mind was completely blown. Like, just being immersed in the culture in China is just so rich. Everyone was so nice. The streets were clean. The architecture is stunning. It's so safe. Like, I could go walking at 3 o'clock in the morning and not worry about if someone's gonna snatch me up or anything like that. And so I've completely enjoyed my time here. And while I initially came here working with the English program, I have since then transitioned into an entrepreneur. So actually the nails that I'm pressing on right now are from my own press-on nail business that I've launched here in China since 2021. And guys, let me tell you this. I just want to say a moment, because in everything I do, I want to add a little inspiration. Guys, it is never too late to start over. Like, you can always start over. I know sometimes we feel like we go through things and we feel like it's over. Like, how am I going to bounce back from this? What's next for me? Guys, there's always another way. As long as you continue to choose yourself, there's going to be great reward on the other side. Everything that looks like it's a setback, sis, it's a setup for the great return, okay? Everything that looks like it's a setback, it's a setup for what God has next for you in your life. And I hope that my story inspires you to keep pressing on. And by the way, Disney fairy tales do exist, because you guys know that, you know, in any Disney movie, there's always that moment of conflict where everything's going beautiful and then suddenly tragedy hits. And then it's like, oh my goodness, how is Cinderella gonna, you know, get to the ball? How is he gonna find out whose shoe it is? Blah, 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 blah. And then everything comes together in the end. This is that moment right now. Fast forward again, I moved to China. I was 23 and now I'm 31. And when I tell you life is so beautiful, I ended up finding my Prince Charming. Well, he found me. He came and found me in the castle. And it is just such an amazing experience just to know that I hadn't given up on myself. And guys, I want you guys to stay tuned for this series, because I have so much more to fill you in on since this journey first began. Again, today is Chinese New Year and I'm going to be going to the Yew Garden. So guys, stay tuned if you want to see more content like this. Until then, I love you. Well, what do you guys think about the nails? Do you love them? Like, is it giving? Is it eating? Is it giving 4 + 4, which is what? 8? All right, queens, I love you. What I need.
Don't leave America and go to the Philippines. They were wrong. I left 7 months ago, and I don't plan on ever going back. Maybe to visit, but the fact of the matter is, here, life is amazing. The people are amazing. They're kind, they're happy, they're joyous, they're humble. They care about family. They care about God. They care about the quality of their life. The cost of living is like a fifth of what it is in America. And I'm in Manila. I'm in Makati. So this is the most expensive area. I have everything here that I have in the USA. The malls are absolutely ridiculous. They're a whole nother level. There's really no negatives to being here. You get to be a blessing to people. You understand? You can start businesses. You can tip people. You can look out for people. You can help people. You can change their lives. I don't understand why you wouldn't book the flight and why you wouldn't find out for yourself. Let me know.
America's collapsing. Why China laughs at our failure. You're being lied to about who's really winning. Today, I'm exposing the hard truth. China's solutions are smoke in the U.S. in infrastructure, safety, and tech. Washington hates this video. Share it before they censor it. like my other videos. US freedom? Think again. They control the internet more than you think. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm an American, born and raised in the US. Lived most of my life there. But for the past 14 years, I've been living in China. And let me tell you, what's happening back home, it hurts, it angers me. The America I remember is gone. What I see on news, every trip back home, I saw things that were unthinkable years and decades ago. Decay, division, and collapse. And today we're gonna talk about it. No sugarcoating, no lies, just the raw, brutal truth. By the end of this video, I'll give you my real opinion on what America has become. If you're an American, buckle up. This won't be easy to hear. The American dream is dying, while China's future is here. In the US, decaying cities, unpayable medical bills, and infrastructure from the Stone Age. Meanwhile, China's building mega cities in years, has the best trains, the best tech, and the streets are safer than Disneyland. The US could fix its problems if it copied China. And here's my bold take, what America needs to steal from China. So Washington, start taking notes. Today, I'm telling you how. Infrastructure. China builds, America bitches. In the time it takes California to fix their potholes, China builds entire cities. China has about 19,000 construction cranes working now. That's more than the rest of the world combined. What's their secret to building? Unlike the US, they ignore crybaby community input meetings and just build. Want to fix America? First, ban the protesters who want to stop progress from moving forward. Second, bring in Chinese engineers and workers who work with speed. Third, fire who's managing, budgeting, and approving the projects in the US. If they turn projects into money pits, they're banned from working on projects again. Can't have the US government stammering for environmental reviews for 10 years while China builds 50-story buildings in 15 days. The days of US bureaucratic government gridlock must come to an end. Keeping the sidewalks clean in China. Look at this. Knows exactly where to go to pick things up. It stopped because it sensed me. Let's hit on law and order. China's zero tolerance slaughters US crime. China doesn't defund the police. They fund the future, which includes the police and their national security. The US needs to invest in policing, not defund the police. Drugs? Convicted of dealing? Take from China's playbook and many other countries in Asia. And it's real. Firing squad. You riot? 10 years in a labor camp. You steal? Your face is on every billboard in the city. Sound harsh? Good. That's what's needed to clean up crime. China's murder rate compared to the US? Well, let's just say it doesn't even show up on the radar. But in the US, murders and mass shootings happen on a regular basis. And that is the truth. And US cities let criminals loot Gucci stores for social justice. Newsflash, China's poor live better than our US middle class. Why? Because they don't tolerate the BS. Cameras here, reason why China is so safe. And this is a little cell tower here at the same time, 5G. These are everywhere in China, making this country safe. Healthcare. In America, breaking a leg means between choosing rent or surgery. When you're living week to week and you get sick in the US and need to pay that doctor bill, well, there goes that paycheck. In China, you pay less than your Starbucks order to see a doctor. How and why is medical so cheap in China? Because their government tells Big Pharma, charge a few dollars for that medicine or insulin, or we'll make it ourselves. Meanwhile, US politicians take lobbyist cash and let you get sicker or even die. Why? Because you can't afford the high price of medical care. Solution? Copy China's price controls within medical care. And while we're at it, bring over China's AI doctors that see 200 patients an hour at a low cost. Tech and future. China, 2030 plan. US, 1970s, living in the past. China's adding more solar panels every week, more than the US does in an entire year. China's EV companies are crushing Tesla and other EV companies in the US. China's got 600 million people using digital currency, while the US is still writing checks. Wake up, America. We're not competing anymore. We're begging for scraps. Either nationalize the US tech policy or get ready to speak Mandarin. The US has two choices. Swallow your pride and follow China's playbook, or keep pretending that freedom means homeless addicts everywhere. China's leaving the US in the dust. America needs to wake up or continue to fall further and further behind in the global landscape. Well, I said earlier I was going to give you my honest opinion at the end of this video. Well, I think I said enough, and it hurts. It angers me to see and hear U.S. failing.
Hey, so thanks so much for this question, and I would say it is difficult for an American to relocate and live in China, and I'll explain the reasons why. So first thing is, you have to have a purpose of being in China. They're not into this mass immigration thing, so I think the two top reasons are you have a job here, typically English teacher for most Americans, because that's the thing that we're most competitive on against the Chinese population. And the second thing would be relationship. So for my scenario, I'm married to a Chinese woman, my wife, and that's the reason why we have a home here and a home in the United States. So let's go more into the job function. And again, you need to be very competitive with the Chinese population. So English teacher comes to mind because there's not a lot of Chinese people who can speak English, as well as someone with an English degree from America. So that's why you'll see a lot of people from Europe and from America here teaching English specifically. There's actually another woman in the neighborhood, and she's from New Zealand, and she's here teaching English, or teaching kindergarten, she said. So I'm assuming English in the kindergarten, but I'm not 100% sure. So with that said, that's going to be your two easiest ways to relocate. And once you have a job or a relationship that brings you to China, it's very easy, right? So you'll get a visa first, and you can start with a touristy or the travel visa. It's like a 90-day stay, and then you can easily convert that to a Q1 visa, which is what I have. It's a 180-day stay at a time, which is plenty. I mean, we fly back to the United States about 4 times a year. Currently, we're having a baby here soon, and we'll see how that travel picks up or slows down. But again, that's my experience, just my personal.
Hey, thanks a ton for watching. I really appreciate all the likes, shares, and everyone who subscribed. Seriously helps the channel grows. If you're new here, do not forget to hit that subscribe button and stick around. I've got more videos coming your way soon. Take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.